everyone, welcome back to my little crochet corner. My name is Maham and I crochet cute things. You can find some of my free patterns posted over here on my blog, and if you like my work and want to support me with donations or purchase some of my Ko-Fi patterns, you can do so over here. Today I'm going to be showing you how to crochet your very own form flattering top. This is going to be made to measure and completely specific to your body measurements, which is why I haven't included any of my measurements or measured down my body or given you a very specific pattern to follow. Once you learn the method and technique that I'm using, you'll be able to create your very own tops with whatever sleeve length, whatever style or fit that you want. I do recommend that you watch through the whole video and not skip any of the heavy talking parts, because that is where I explain the techniques that I'm using and what method and basically how to crochet your very own top. And let's get started. In this part of the video, I'm going to be explaining the method and technique that I'm going to be using to crochet a top, and it's going to be a lot of talking, but I highly recommend that you sit through this part of the video. It's really going to help you figure everything out by yourself later on and help you not get confused along the way. So here's a rough design I had of a top that I wanted to make, and while making it, I realized that it was really hard for me to figure out how to make it flattering to my form, because I didn't want it to be loose, and it was really hard to figure out how the yarn would fit, how it would wrap around me, how I could easily try it on if I didn't have someone there to help me measure. So here's what I came up with. What we're going to be doing is we are going to be making a long rectangular piece, and then we're going to be folding it in half to make a tube shape. So for example, we're going to start off by chaining the length that can fit comfortably around our chest, and then we are going to be doing rows upon rows of half double crochet until it's as big as we want it to be, or until it can fit around our chest and our waist. Now, to make this flattering to our form, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be adding some increases and some decreases on the sides. So increase, increase, decrease, decrease. So it's okay if you don't know what an increase or decrease is yet. I'm going to be showing you that. And now once we have our long rectangular piece that has shapes on both sides, we are going to be folding it. So we're going to fold it, and then when we fold it in half, we're going to have two sides over here, and then we're going to join it with slip stitches. So that's how we're going to join it, and then we're going to have our form flattering top, or the main body. And then we're going to be doing the sleeves. Now for the sleeves, you can use the same method, which is you make a long rectangular piece and then you join it with slip stitches, but I find it easier to work in rounds. So for the sleeves, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be making a foundation chain. So I'm going to chain, and then I'm going to join it with a slip stitch to make a circle or a round. And then I'm going to keep doing rounds on top of it. I'm going to be using double crochets, but again, you can use whatever you want. I'm going to keep doing rounds, and again with decreases, increases, to make it flattering to the form of my arm, because your arm isn't completely stick straight. So if you want, you can do increases, you can do decreases to give your arm more shape, make it flared out at the end, whatever you want. And we're gonna do this until the sleeve is as big as your main body. So if this is your main body, we're gonna make the sleeve as long as it can come up to your armpit over here. And then we're going to end it. And then we're going to be making the shoulder part. And to do this, we're going to be working in rows. So we're going to start from here, and then we're going to do rows back and forth and back and forth and back and forth until we have it as big as we want our shoulder to be. And that's kind of how I explained it here as well. So we connect it with a slip stitch, and then we do rows upon rows that go around our sleeves and then attach to the main body so that the shoulders can be held up. And again, you can do increases here, decreases here to make it tighter or looser around your shoulders if necessary. For this project, I'm using a 4.5mm hook and yarn size that's appropriate for that hook. But again, you can use any hook size, any yarn size. This is completely made to measure, so the type of yarn or the type of hook or whatever size you're using won't make a difference to the pattern because it's all completely made to fit your body. So this part's completely up to you. I didn't feel comfortable showing the measurements and everything on my own body, so I've got a little stuffed toy over here that I'm going to be making the main body for, just so I can show you how it works. So we're starting off by making the foundation chain, and this chain has to be long enough to comfortably fit around your chest. So around the top of your chest. So for example, I've got my little model here. I'm going to chain the length that can comfortably fit from under his armpits but over his chest. So start off by making a slip knot. Oops. And then you're just gonna chain. If you're a beginner, make sure that you're holding it close to your hook, and then you just chain the length that you need. So grab the yarn, twist and pull it through. Grab the yarn, twist and pull it through. Here's my chain, and this can very comfortably fit around the chest of my mouse. So wrap around it, so it just fits comfortably. So try this on yourself and make sure that it can fit around your chest. But make sure that it goes under your armpits, not above or on. Now we're gonna start doing the rows to build the height of our top, or the part that's basically going to cover everything. And I'm going to be using half double crochets because it just gives me a really nice texture. But again, you can use any stitch. You could use single crochet, double crochet, anything you like. So for a half double crochet, I'm going to yarn over and insert my hook into the second chain from my hook. Yarn over, pull up a loop, and then yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on my hook. And that is how you do a half double crochet. And now I'm just going to be inserting 1 half double crochet in each chain all the way down the row until I come to where I have my slip knot. I'm at the end of my row and I'm doing my last half double crochet over there in my last chain. And that is the end of row 1. Now let's look at my model over here, or you can look at yourself. Now over here, his chest is smaller and then it starts to get bigger. So what I need to do is I need to increase the size of my rows. I need to increase the size on the sides. Otherwise, it's going to be really tight for him around the chest or for yourself. So what we're going to be doing is we are going to be adding some increases on the sides of each rows. So we're not going to do anything in the middle part. We're just going to be inserting 1 half double crochet in each stitch. But on the side stitches, we are going to be doing some increase. And this is basically how you increase the size of your main body. Now, again, you don't have to do this immediately after your first row. You could do 2 to 3 rows and then you could feel like you need to do some increases. Again, just have this at hand and keep wrapping it around yourself to make sure that it fits comfortably. And do whatever feels right for you or for your main body. So to start the next row, I'm going to chain 1, turn my work, and then I'm going to be inserting 1 half double crochet into that first stitch. And now since I want to do an increase, I'm going to be inserting another half double crochet into the same stitch. So an increase is basically when you do more than 1 stitch in a single stitch. So what this does is that it increases the stitch count, which in turn increases the size of your work. So I'm going to do this for 2 stitches. So I did 2 increases, which is basically 2 half double crochets in the same stitch. And then I'm just going to be doing 1 half double crochet in each stitch for the rest of the row. Okay, and let's look at that. So the size increase up here. So it's smaller here and then it's wider up there. I've got 2 stitches left and I want to do an increase on them, in them as well, because I want the size to increase. So I did 2 half double crochets in the same stitch to make an increase. And maybe I don't need to do another. So see how I'm just measuring as I go along. So I would keep trying this on myself or my mouse to make sure that it fits. And if I feel like these increases that I did at the beginning were enough, then I wouldn't do them over here. But if I felt like they were too little or I didn't get the piece as big as I wanted it to be, then I could add more increases on this side as well. So it's completely up to you and your measurements. And now I'm gonna chain 1, turn my work, and I'm gonna start my 3rd row. And in this row, I'm gonna do some increases and then just 1 half double crochet in each stitch. And then I'm gonna show you how to do decreases in the next part. I finished my 3rd row, and just remember that this is your foundation chain. So you will not be wearing it like this. You will be wearing it like this. So we are going to attach the piece at the end. So I'm just going to show you what it looks like with the increases and how this basically makes your top flattering to your form. So as you can see, at the top it's tighter and the increases are making it go out, which means that there's more space for your chest to fill out. If you have a bigger chest, if you have a smaller chest, then you probably won't need to do as many increases. And this part does need to be a little bit tight just so that I can hold your top up. And yeah, now let's say that you're done with the chest part and now you want to do the waist part and you want to cinch in your waist or give it a bit more shape. To do that, you're going to have to decrease the size again. And for that, instead of doing increases on the sides of your rows, you are going to be doing some decreases. So I'm going to chain 1, I'm going to start my 4th row. And in this row, I want to do some decreases so I can cinch in the waist and give it that nice shape. So to do that, I'm going to yarn over and just do a half double crochet. But I'm not going to pull through all 3 loops. Instead, I'm going to yarn over again, go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, and I'm going to have all these loops in my hook. And I'm going to yarn over and pull through all of them. And what I basically did is that I half double crocheted 2 stitches together, which pulls them in. So I'm going to do it again in the other 2 stitches. I'm basically half double crocheting both of them together. And look, you can already see it cinching inwards or going inwards because this is decreasing your stitch count and it's pulling the stitches in tighter. And then once I've done as many decreases as I think are necessary, I'm just going to go back to doing 1 half double crochet in each stitch. I'm gonna end this row with a half double crochet decrease or by half double crocheting 2 stitches together. And then I'm gonna have that little cinched in form that I want. So you can see over here that we started off small, we did some increases, and now we're decreasing the size again. I'm gonna do another row and then I'm gonna be showing you how to join it together. Also, I forgot to mention that if you're doing another stitch and if you're not doing a half double crochet, you also do the same decreases and increases with the other stitches. So instead of half double crocheting 2 together, you would double crochet 2 together, which I'll show you how to do in the sleeves part. If you're single crocheting, you would single crochet 2 together. If you're increasing with a stitch that's not half double crochet, it's the same thing. You would just insert 2 of whichever stitch you're doing to make an increase. It's the same thing, just different stitches. I just finished this row and this is a scrap piece, so it's not going to look exactly like how my actual real main body turned out, which I'm going to show you afterwards. But this was just to show you how to increase the size and decrease the size so you can get a main body that is flattering to your body measurements, and I hope this helps. Now we're going to be connecting it. Now a reason why I didn't connect it at the start or follow the round method for the body is that for me personally, it was easier to wrap this around myself and check the measurements than it would have been to slide that tube shape on my body again and again. So that would have just taken more time. This was so much easier because I could just wrap it and then there was no need to struggle putting it on or back off. So yeah, but if you think that the tube method would work best for you, then you can just do the same thing that I did for the sleeves. So the same method I did for the sleeves for the top, if you do not like this method. So now we're going to be joining it. And to do this, you're just going to fold your top. And now we're going to be slip stitching to join it together. Now, when you're slip stitching, make sure that you always go through the edge. There's not going to be a specific stitch that you can go through, but just insert your hook wherever you get space, and as long as it's close to the edge, you should be fine. So I'm just going to insert my hook to whatever space I got, and I'm going to pull the loop through both, well, stitches. So that's my first slip stitch, and then I'm going to go through the first piece, and the second piece, and just slip stitch. Then I'm just gonna do this all the way down. So go through the first piece. Well, it's one piece, but it just makes it easier for me to explain it if I say first piece and second piece. We basically just go through both the sides and just slip stitch them together. I just did my last slip stitch, and as you can see, it's all joined together. I missed one piece over here. It's actually supposed to be like that, but I didn't go into it properly. So yeah, and now you can chain 1, chain 2, and then you can cut it. So we're gonna fasten it off, pull and tighten, and there you go. There is your body. So there is our foundation chain. So it's tight at the top so that it doesn't fall off our chest. Then it gets bigger with some increases on the side so that our chest has space to breathe. And then it has some decreases on the sides to make it cinch towards our waist. And if I had kept doing rows over here without any increases or decreases, it would have given me that length to fit around my waist. And yeah. So this is what it does look like from the back. It's not the best. It's gonna have a little bump there. So what you can do is you can just flip your body inside out and you're gonna have a nice clean edge on the inside. So ignoring the sleeves, this is what my main body basically looks like. This is my foundation chain up there. And then I have some space. I did some increases to have some space for my chest. And then as you can see, it decreases to cinch in for the waist. And this is the back where I slip stitched to join, and I turned it inside out. So this is what the inside looks like, and this is what the outside looks like. For the next part, we're going to be making the sleeves, and this is going to be from over here, so not this curved part, starting from your wrist till your armpit. So your wrist till your armpit, and then we're going to join it to the body. So the way that we're going to do this is we're going to be working in rounds basically, and I'm going to be showing you how to do that, but most of this again is completely made to measure. So you're going to have to keep your hand with you and keep measuring as you go along. So start off by making a slip knot, and we're going to chain the length that can comfortably fit around your wrist over here. Here I have my chain, and I can easily wrap it around my wrist and still have a bit of room left. I don't want it to be too tight, otherwise it would be hard to get it on and off, as you saw me do. And instead of what we did with the body of the top, we are going to be joining this together and making like a little circle, and then we're just going to be working in rounds. If you don't feel comfortable working this way, you can just use the same method that we did for the body of the top and just make it a straight piece, work in rows back and forth, and then you can just join it with a slip stitch. Exactly what we did for the body. But I find it much easier to work in rounds, so by joining it for the sleeves, because it's easier to try it on and see if it's fitting well. While for the body, it was the opposite. So it all depends on your preference. To join this together, make sure that your chain isn't twisting like this. Make sure it's completely straight. and you're just gonna slip stitch into the very first chain that you made. So make sure it's not twisting, it's completely straight as you go in to the very first chain that you made at the beginning. And now you're gonna be making a slip stitch. Okay, there we go. And for my sleeves, I'm gonna be using double crochet. So I'm gonna start off by chaining 2. And now I'm going to be inserting 1 double crochet in each chain all around. So to make a double crochet, you yarn over, insert your hook into the chain, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And I'm just gonna go around inserting 1 double crochet in each stitch until I come back over here, and then I'm going to show you how to join it. I just wanted to show you more up close exactly what part of the chain I'm going into. I'm working into the backs of my chains, and this is the front. So when I joined it, the back was facing into the circle. You see how that's inside, and the front was facing outwards. So what I'm doing to get a nice little clean edge is that I'm working into the top of the back of the chains. Hopefully that makes sense. So I yarn over and I go into this part right over there. So only one of the loops like that. And then I just do my double crochet. And what that does, it just gives me a nice little border over here. So I'm at the end of my round. I went into the very last chain. And this is the chain where our chain 2 is. So I'm not going to be working into it. And now I'm going to be ending the round. I don't know what happened over here or why I have such a big hole. Maybe my slip knot was loose, but I'm just going to ignore it because it's going to get covered when I do the little curved part of the sleeve. So what we're going to do to connect or end the round is you're going to just slip stitch into the top of the chain 2. So chain 1, chain 2. And you're just gonna go into the top of it. So go into the top of the chain 2 and just slip stitch like that, and that's how you basically join the round. This is so messy. Hopefully yours turns out much better than mine. But yeah, and now to start the next round, I'm gonna be chaining 2, and I'm not gonna be working into this place over here. When I do that, I've noticed that it gives me a bit of an uneven finish, so I'm not going to be working here. I'm going to be working into the next stitch, and same as before, I'm going to be inserting 1 double crochet in each stitch all the way around until I come to the very end, and then I'm going to connect it by slip stitching into the chain 2. And this is how you're going to start and end all of your rounds. Now, your arm is going to get bigger from your wrist to your elbows, and then even bigger from your elbows to your upper arms. So what we're gonna do to make the rounds get bigger as your arm goes along is that we're going to be adding increases. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the same number of stitches, so just 1 double crochet in each stitch until the sleeve comes about over here. And then I'm going to be showing you how to add some increases to make the size bigger. I did 3 rounds of 1 double crochet in each stitch, and I'm going to be showing you how to decrease. So what's going to happen is that this is how it fits over here, and then I want it to get a little bit tighter and fit my arm a little bit closer. So it's a little bit flared out at the end, but then it gets tight over here. So to make it tighter, I'm going to be doing some decreases. So I'm just going to end my 3rd round by slip stitching at the top of the chain 2. I'm going to start the next round with chain 2, and now I'm going to be doing a double crochet decrease or double crocheting 2 stitches together. So this stitch over here and this stitch over here, I'm gonna double crochet them together. To do that, you're gonna start your double crochet by yarning over and inserting your hook into the stitch like normal, and you're gonna yarn over and pull through 2, but you're not gonna complete the double crochet. Instead, you're going to yarn over again and go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and then you're going to have 3 loops in your hook, and then you're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 of them, and that's how you double crochet 2 together. And I'm going to do that into the next stitch as well because I want it to get tighter. And you can keep trying it on. You can keep doing decreases if you want it to get way smaller, but I'm going to do this gradually. So in the next round, I'm also going to be doing 2 double crochet 2 stitches together and until it's as tight as I want it to be. Once I've done my decreases, I'm just going to be inserting 1 double crochet in each stitch all around the round. And I'm going to complete this round like normal, end it like normal, start the next one, do some more decreases, and I'm going to show you guys what it looks like. So here I did a few more rounds, and you can see that it went from being much bigger, so do you see all that empty space there, to being tight around my hand, which is what I wanted. So I want to wear it like this so it can easily fit around my hand. And then I'm going to have that little decrease over there, and it's tight over here. So now I'm going to do a few more rounds up till here without any decreases, just 1 double crochet in each stitch, and then I'm going to start doing some increases over here because my arm gets bigger in that part. So this is what I have so far. This is what it looks like. It's bigger here, smaller here, and now I need it to get bigger again. So I've already started the next round over here, and now I'm going to be showing you how to increase the size, and you're just going to do this by adding more than 1 double crochet in each stitch. So for example, over here I've already added 1 double crochet. To increase the size, I'm going to add into the same stitch, I'm just going to add another double crochet. And what this does is that it increases the stitch count, which in turn increases the size of your work. So I'm just going to be doing 2 increases. That means 2 double crochets in 1 stitch 2 times. And I'm going to do this for a few rows until the size is as big as I want. And then for the rest of the rounds, I'm going to do 1 double crochet in each stitch, and then I'll show you what that looks like. Here's a little update on my sleeve. I finished it up to my elbows, and it has a nice little shape to it, and I love the texture that's going all around. And I'm going to show you once it's all done. I'm all done with the sleeves, and this reaches up to my armpits or to the top of the main body. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end it, and then I'm going to do the part that goes over my shoulders, just because it's going to be more comfortable to wear that way. So I'm just going to end the round by cutting the yarn, and I'm just going to tighten it. And now I'm going to join it to the main body. So get your piece and put a bobby pin or stitch marker in the area that you want your sleeves to start. So you might have to try on the main body, put on the sleeve, see where they both meet. And this has to be under your armpit. So this has to be your armpit area. And now we're going to be joining the 2 pieces together. I got some more bobby pins, and this is the sleeve and this is the main body. And what I've done is I've just put bobby pins and attached the pieces together, so it'll be easier for me to crochet them together. And it also helped me see if I was crocheting enough of it together to form that armhole. And now what we're going to do is we're going to be slip stitching the 2 sides together. So insert your hook into where you're starting to join it, and get your yarn, make a little loop like that, and slide it through, and then you can remove your stitch marker. And now you're going to chain 1. That counts as your first slip stitch, and then you're just going to go, so you're going to go through the first piece and then the second piece, and you're just going to do a slip stitch. So you pull through both pieces, and then you pull through with the same loop. So that is your first slip stitch. And now you're just going to slip stitch until you reach your next stitch marker, and then you can try it on to see if the armhole is comfortable, or you can redo it by moving around where you're sewing it or how much of it you're, sorry, not sewing, slip stitching together. This part is a bit tricky, but please remember to keep trying on your work and making sure that all the measurements are right and comfortable. So here's what it looks like once I've slip stitched it together. And now we're going to be making the shoulders, which is basically going to be this part up here. And what we're going to do is we're going to slip stitch into the body. Okay, so I slip stitch, and then we're going to turn our work, and we are going to double crochet all around till we come back over here. And so we're going to be building the shoulders upwards, if that makes sense. So I've slip stitched here, which means that I've attached the next row of the sleeves to the body. And now I'm going to start by chaining 2, and now I'm going to do a double crochet. So yarn over, insert my hook, okay, double crochet, and then just go into the stitches of the sleeves, and just continue making double crochets all around the sleeve until I come over here. So I finished going around the sleeve, and I did 1 on the body to make it even. And now to start the second row around, I'm going to slip stitch right next to the double crochet I just did. I'm going to chain 2, turn my work, and then go all the way back, doing just 1 double crochet in each stitch. So this is how you make your shoulders, the shoulders of the top. And I'm going to show you what I do once I go back over here. I'm at the end, and as you can see, this was the double crochet and the chain 2 that we did in the beginning. And I'm going to show you how to join this back to the main body. You're going to yarn over, go into that double crochet, not the chain 2, and you're going to be double crocheting this double crochet and the main body together. So do not yarn over and complete the double crochet. Instead, go into the main body, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and then yarn over, pull through 2 again. And you've basically double crocheted that together, and go into the next part of the main body, make a slip stitch, and then start your next row with chain 2, turn your work, and now you're just going to insert 1 double crochet in each stitch. If you need to do any increases or decreases to make it tighter around your shoulder or make it looser, then you just add them in any stitch. So 2 double crochets in 1 stitch means an increase. If you double crochet 2 together, that's a decrease to make the size smaller. And you're going to do the same thing that I just did over here, double crochet 2 together on this part for this double crochet over here to end the row, to connect it to the main body. And you're just going to keep doing rows exactly like this until your shoulders are as big as you want, or until the sleeves are complete, or until you like how it looks. So I finished the sleeves, and I just chained 1 and then pulled it, and this is what it looks like. If you want, you can keep doing rows until it comes up till here, but I kind of like that it's sort of off shoulders, and it gives a really nice little look to my work. Here is my finished top. I didn't like the thin strap, so using the same method that I did for the other sleeve, I made another long sleeve on this side, and it looks so much cuter, and I'm so happy with how it turned out.